I watched a lot of films over the summer, and there was one in particular that really got me thinking. The film's called As One. Based on a true story, the South Korean film is about the 1991 World Table Tennis Championships. Because both South and North Korea had trouble winning the gold medal against the untouchable China, in 1991, the South and North Korean governments decided to form a unified team, Team Korea, for the first and probably the last time. The formation of Team Korea was meant to not only defeat China, but also to symbolize hope for reunification. Initially in the movie, South Koreans and North Koreans treat each other poorly because they simply cannot accept their differences or overcome their stereotypes for each other. South Korean members get freaked out by the rigid mentalities of the North Koreans, while North Koreans become greatly disturbed by the westernized jokes that South Koreans make. However, as the movie progresses, the members of Team Korea come to realize that they are all the same people of Korea. There is a scene where the South Korean coach assembles the athletes in front of the flag of the Korean Peninsula, which was the flag for Team Korea, and draws a line in the middle and asks a North Korean athlete, "What do you think this is?" She responds, "38th parallel line, sir." Then the coach takes the flag and spreads it parallel to the ground in between him and the athletes and asks a South Korean athlete, "Now what do you think this is?" She responds, "It's a ping pong table, sir." The coach then says, "This is our reality. We had to live in a divided nation and face each other as opponents, despite our people's desire to cross this line and to be with each other. Let's show how powerful we can be when we stand alongside. Even if this is our only chance, fight without regrets. Remember this, no player is greater than the team. We are one." Team Korea won gold medal, and this seemingly happy ending came to an abrupt end as the North Korean athletes got on their buses and prepared for their departure. The scene was heartbreaking. South Korean athletes couldn't find the right words of goodbyes. They couldn't say, "See you again," or "I'll write to you," or "I'll call you." They simply had to let them go. And as you can imagine, they never met again as Team Korea. Watching this movie made me think deeply about my country. Unlike the United States, which is a melting pot, Korea is almost entirely composed of pure Koreans with same black hair and eyes. Naturally, we've always had and still have a very strong sentiment for being a part of one bloodline, ethnicity, and culture. This unity was a driving force of our people to persevere in the midst of all sorts of hardships, from foreign invasion and colonialism throughout our 5,000-year-old history. We've been battered and wounded. Nonetheless, we stuck together and kept our small but proud country as a whole until the Korean War in 1950. Korea was feeble and unstable from recently getting out of a brutal Japanese colonialism by the end of World War II. And our unity broke due to foreign interferences with the beginning of the Cold War policy. From this setting, Korean War broke out. There was a day in AP US History last year when we learned about the Korean War. In class, I learned that the Americans called it the Forgotten War. This movie helped me recognize that after this useless war, 10 million Koreans, including my mom, have been separated from their relatives and family for good, essentially. My mom's cousins, aunts, and uncles never made it past the 38th parallel line, and she has no way of knowing whether they're even alive today. Though it is a forgotten war for the Western world, it is an unforgettable war that impacts the lives of the Koreans on a daily basis. This war has scarred the Koreans more than any other event in our history. But Koreans are an extremely strong group of people. Every time we fall, we get back up. If we are left with nothing, then we start from nothing and build our way up. We don't give up. That's the Korean mentality. That's how South Korea became what it is now. Only 50 years ago, Korea was one of the poorest countries in the world. Today, South Korea is placed 9th in the World Trade Rankings. We are 15th largest economy in the world and one of Asia's liveliest democracies. But today, North Korea is 116th largest economy. It has one of the largest armies in the world, but is ranked second to last in the World Press Freedom Index. Our people, brothers and sisters in the North, are still living under severe poverty and human rights violations. They're going through unimaginable torture, lengthy imprisonment, forced labor, public executions, and denial of the right of citizens to change their government. The same people of Korea are living in such appalling difference. I get to come all the way to America and experience a different world while North Korean students my age might barely have the right to step out of our own house. But here's the worst part. South Koreans in my generation are starting to forget about our brothers in the North. In fact, a lot of them have close to no knowledge of the Korean War or our modern history about how South Korea managed to miraculously become a first world country in such a short time. When Kim Jong-il passed away last winter and talks about hopes for reunification arose, nationwide surveys show that most people in my generation didn't want reunification. They didn't know enough to care. What they knew was that South Korea was a great place to live, and North Korea wasn't. They were too comfortable where they were to think about taking the burdens and suffering of the Koreans in the North were we to reunite. Now, I'm not undermining the complications of the reunification process. Doubtlessly, it is a delicate and tricky business for both economical and mental reasons. I recognize that even if I ever get to witness the day our Berlin Wall falls down, it would have taken some painstaking negotiations and decisions of our leaders. But I hope, when that day comes, the Koreans will do what it's best at doing, to unite, and listen to our leaders, and look forward to uniting with our brothers and sisters again. Now, I'm so proud to be a Korean. I'm so proud of what an amazingly fun, practical, and developed country South Korea has become. And I'm so grateful to my parents' generation for sacrificing their lives to make such rapid growth possible. But I'm truly sad that the Koreans in the North, who should be enjoying and experiencing all of these amazing things with us, aren't and can't. So I wish the Koreans of my generation will educate themselves with the importance of reunification, take charge of the future, and make it happen, because it's our turn to give back to our parents' sacrifices. Now, I'm Chanyeong, living as Rachel in America, but I'm here for a reason. Whatever great things I get out of Petty or another American education, I want to use it for my country. I'm here now, but one day I will go back and work for Korea. And maybe I'll live during the day when I can simply be Korean, not South or North Korean. So Petty, know your roots, be proud of your country, do whatever you do for a reason, and always be grateful for our wealth of freedom and opportunities. Thank you.